Greetings, my name is David Nachman. I'm one of the managing partners here at NPZ Law Group, the Nachman Fawani Zimochek Law Group with offices in Ridgewood, New Jersey. We also have offices in New York City and Midtown Manhattan and affiliated offices in Canada and also in Mumbai, India. It's my pleasure this morning to join you to tell you a little bit about an area that we've been getting a lot of questions lately, and I think that the reason we're getting those questions is because of what happened in April with regard to the H-1Bs. As many of you know, the H-1B cap was reached within a matter of days. 140,000 H-1B visas were submitted this year within a one-week period of time after April 1st, and they ran a lottery, and now many people are receiving back their petitions in the mail from the USCIS as not having been chosen under the lottery, and that's really a shame. But now what that does is it causes us to have to work with our clients and our potential clients to try to figure out other options. So what other options are available to them? Well, one of the questions that we get frequently has to do, of course, with the STEM OPT extension. And yes, that is certainly an option. If you're not already doing it, think about this as an option to be able to extend your stay and allow you to get into the next H-1B cycle. So what is the next H-1B cycle? Well, that opens up starting on April of 2014 for an October of 2014 start date. So how does the OPT STEM extension help? First of all, what is the OPT STEM extension? What happened was that it was determined that individuals who had science, technology, engineering, and mathematics degrees were unfortunately being educated here in the United States and sent back to their home countries. And that was not exactly what Congress had in mind. Congress wants to attract, by virtue of the underlying tenets and propositions of the U.S. immigration law, to attract foreign talent, to have them here in the United States. And once, of course, we've trained them, we want to keep them here. So how best to keep them here but to allow them a 17-month extension for OPT, optional practical training, if they've studied science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So how does one obtain this type of an extension? Well, generally, law firms like ours don't usually get too involved in a STEM extension, although maybe we'll consult with an individual who feels that they may have a potential for a STEM extension. So what we would do is we would sit down and explain to a potential student who has a STEM extension available to them that what they should do is talk to their international student officers, their ISOs, and their international student officers are really the ones who are responsible for ensuring that they're able to get these extensions. These extensions are 17 months. They're available to individuals who are working for organizations, employers, who have registered for the E-Verify program. Now, oftentimes one of the questions we get is, well, what if we have an employer and we want to get the STEM extension, but they're not in the E-Verify program? Well, then tell your employer to go into the E-Verify program. The E-Verify program is fast, easy to apply for, it's free, and and basically what it does is it applies to any future employees who come into the organization. The E-Verify program is what we call the I-9 process on steroids. It's an electronic methodology for allowing verification of employment authorization in the United States. It's a partnership between the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and the Social Security Administration that vets information about an individual's work authorization and identity through their appropriate databases. So that's what the OPT extension is all about. Again, it's a 17-month extension. It's given to individuals who have studied science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. There's a full list. There's actually a list online of STEM, STEM study areas. But the best place, of course, to get this information is to go to your international student officer. Now, the way it would work is the international student officer would confirm, in fact, that the position that the individual has is in furtherance of the area of study that they've had. They would confirm the extension, and then once the extension has been blessed, the student is able to apply for on an I-765 for continued work authorization for an additional 17 months. The idea behind the STEM extension is to put the student into a position so that they would be able to get into the next H-1B cycle. Now, that's one option. There are also other options that that foreign students need to look at as possibilities to allow them to stay in the United States. Just by way of example, we would probably consult with an individual who's looking at the STEM extension and also see whether, for example, they might be from a treaty country, see whether an E-2 visa might be available to them, see whether or not their resume bears out the possibility of some other type of non-immigrant visa that would allow them to bridge the gap to get into the next H-1B cycle if it's an H-1B that they're looking for. So with that, I'd like to thank you very much for viewing our video here on YouTube. We hope to be back to you with more additional helpful information about U.S. immigration law, family and employment based. And thank you very much. Bye for now.